Hello. So today, let us study about capitalization. Okay. Yes. What is capitalization? First, we will start the meaning of capitalization. Capitalization is derived from the term capital, total amount invested in the business. Okay. The term capitalization is used for joint stock companies only. Capitalization means estimation of the amount required to run the business. Capitalization means decision regarding amount of finance and modes of finance. What it ultimately means is, in a joint stock company, we have shares, debentures, equity and debt. Okay. So here capitalization means you have estimated some finance requirement. It may be for anything, for a new venture, for purchase of asset or anything. So that estimation of finance, what you have done that is required for your business, we call it as an capitalization. Okay. Some more meaning of capitalization. Capitalization means the total par value of all the securities, that is shares and debentures, as I've told you, issued by the company, and reserves, surplus and value of all other long-term obligations. Okay. Next, the term includes the value of ordinary and preference shares. Okay, ordinary or equity shares. The value of all surplus earned and capital. The value of bonds and securities still not redeemed, and the value of all long-term assets also. So capitalization, we can say that it is thus the sum of total of all long-term funds available to the firm along with the free reserves. Clear about this? We'll see some definitions of capitalization. According to E.T. Lincoln, capitalization is a word ordinarily used to refer to the sum of outstanding stocks and funded obligations which may represent fictitious values. We have another definition I have taken according to Johnston Burke. Capitalization is that which comprises of company's ownership capital, which includes capital stock and surplus in whatever form it may appear, and borrowed capital, which consists of bonds or similar evidences of long-term debt. I have taken one more definition over here. According to Gutman and Dogal, capitalization is the sum of the par value of stocks and bonds outstanding. So various financial management gurus have defined capitalization. But broadly speaking, or generally taken from all of them, the term capitalization refers to the process of determining the plan of financing. It includes both the quality as well as quantity of finance. We all know regarding the quantity. Here I am taking quality also. Whenever we require finance in bigger companies, joint stock companies, it is raised through various ways. So we have shares and debentures, equity and debt, in what proportion it is taken, how it is taken, and whether that taken amount is converted into profits. So considering that, we call it as a quality. Thus, finally I can say that it includes estimating the total amount of capital to be raised, determining the type of securities to be issued, and determining the composition or proportion of various securities to be issued. Okay, what securities you have to take, in what quantity you have to take, and what should be their cost. Everything should be finalized over here. Yeah, why do we need this capitalization? So I'll tell you here. Generally, the problem of capitalization occurs in the following circumstances. First one, at the time of promotion or incorporation of a company. Okay. Second one, at the time of expansion of an existing company. You want to expand your company, start a new venture. Then you require finance. At the time of amalgamation and absorption of two or more companies, when you are going for combining, absorption of the companies, amalgamation of companies, you require capitalization. At the time of reorganization of capital of a company, sometimes it may be necessary for you to reorganize the capital. So in such cases also you will go for capitalization. There are two theories of capitalization. One is cost theory and the second one is earning theory. What are these two theories that we'll study in detail? So let's study in detail the cost theory of capitalization. According to this theory, the amount of capitalization is arrived at by adding up the cost of fixed assets. So what are these fixed assets? Plant, machinery, land, building, furniture, etc. And working capital required for the operations of company and the promotional expenses. I have just taken an example over here. If the fixed assets of a firm are 8 lakhs, working capital 4 lakhs and business establishment cost is 1,50,000. Find the capitalization. This is a problem I have taken. So now for example, the solution will be, what will be the capitalization amount? You have cost of fixed assets, that is 8 lakhs. From where did we get this? 8 lakhs has been brought over here. Okay. Next we are adding up working capital. Working capital 4 lakhs that I have taken over here. Then you have business establishment cost, that is your promotional expenses, etc. 1,50,000 that I have added over here. So all these three together we come to a final figure, that is 13,50,000. This becomes the capitalization amount as per the cost theory. Clear about this? Yeah, now we shall study the earnings theory of capitalization. This theory recognizes the fact that true value of an enterprise depends upon its earning capacity. We are not just finding out the total, it depends on the earning capacity. Accordingly, the capitalization of a company depends upon its earning and expected fair rate of return on its capital invested. Okay. Thus, the value of capitalization is equal to the capitalization value of the estimated earnings. Capitalized value of the estimated earnings. This we are going to take as a basis. So, the formula for ascertainment of capitalization, that is capitalization is equal to net profit or expected earnings divided by fair rate of return into 100. Okay, so here we have the formula. You have to remember this. Capitalization is equal to net profit or the expected earnings divided by what? Fair rate of return into 100. Okay, so all of you are clear about this? Let's proceed further. Just let us understand the earning theory by a small example. Now for example, if a company is making net profit of 2 lakhs per annum, that is 2 lakhs per annum, and the fair rate of return is 10%. It is making net profit of 2 lakhs and its fair rate of return is 10%. So what will be the capitalization? 2 lakhs is the net profit divided by fair rate of return, that is 10%, and 2 lakhs divided by 10 into 100. Okay, so we will get the amount as 20 lakhs is your capitalization amount. Okay, so let us proceed. Therefore, the earnings theory seems to be logical because it correlates the value of the firm or the amount of capitalization directly with its earning capacity. We are correlating. However, in real life, it is very difficult to estimate correctly the future earnings. Here it depends on the estimation. So you cannot exactly estimate your future earnings. The future earnings depend upon number of factors such as demand for products, general price level, efficiency of management, etc., which are beyond the control of the management. In the same manner, capitalization rate also depends upon the expectations of the investors and the degree of risk in the enterprise. Okay, so this is the earnings theory. Clear about this, girls? So as we have studied cost theory and earnings theory, we know that capitalization, our estimation may differ. So on the basis of that, we have three major points over here: overcapitalization, undercapitalization, and fair capitalization. So we shall study here one by one. First, we'll go for overcapitalization. Okay. So meaning of overcapitalization. Let us be very clear. The first point, overcapitalization does not mean excess capital. Okay. Excess of capital may be one of the reasons of overcapitalization. A company is overcapitalized only because of its capital and funds not being effectively or profitably deployed, with the result that there is a fall in the earning capacity of the company and in the rate of dividend to be paid to its shareholder, as well as fall in the market value of its shares. Okay, I'll give some example and explain this. Capitalization, overcapitalization, when it occurs because of capitals or funds what you have collected, you have not utilized it perfectly so that you can earn more profit. Okay. So I've just taken some definitions over here. According to Hoagland, whenever the aggregate of the par value of stocks or bonds outstanding exceed the true value of the fixed assets, the corporation is said to be overcapitalized. According to Johnstonburg, a corporation is overcapitalized when its earnings are not large enough to yield a fair return on the amount of stocks and not large enough to yield a fair rate of return on the amount of stocks and bonds that have been issued, or when the amount of securities outstanding exceeds the current value of assets. Okay, about these definitions we will study in detail and with an example. So let us try to understand overcapitalization with simple words and simple example. Overcapitalization means more capital. Okay, so see here, more capital than actually required, and the invested funds are not properly used. For example, a company earns, what is its earning? 5 lakhs, and the normal rate of return expected is 10%. Okay, then what is the capitalization value? It would be as per our formula, earnings theory formula. Capitalization value is equal to earnings divided by fair rate of return into 100. So if I do this, 5 lakhs divided by 10 into 100. So what amount we get? 50 lakhs. What is this? This is our capitalization amount. But suppose the capital of this company is 60 lakhs. Then what happens? 10 lakhs is excess. This 10 lakhs is, or we call this position as overcapitalization. Clear about this? Now what effect it does is, the new rate of earnings in this company would be 5 lakhs divided by 60 into 100. That means for 5 lakhs it is 10%. If it is 50 lakhs, 10%. But now it is 60 lakhs. So find out how much it is. It is reduced. The earning rate has been reduced. It should have been 10%, but now it has been reduced to 8/1/3. Clear about this? Thus, as a result of overcapitalization, the rate of earnings has dropped, as I've told you, from 10% to 8/1/3%. Therefore, the test of overcapitalization is a lower rate of return on capital over a long run. Moreover, capitalization is not the same as excess capital. Excess capital may be one of the reasons of overcapitalizations. Clear about this? In actual practice, many overcapitalized companies have been found to be short of funds. Thus, the fall in the rate of dividend and market value of shares in the long run are the main signs of overcapitalization. Do you feel that there is more capital? But what is happening? The rate of return is falling down. Your earnings are lowering. In such cases, who will be affected more? The dividend payment, the shareholders, and it will parallelly affect the market value of the shares. Clear about this? So following are some of the causes of overcapitalization. Overissue of capital. Okay, you wanted to issue 100, you have issued 120. Overissue of capital. Promotion, formation or development during inflation. Buying assets of lower value at higher prices. High promotional expenses. Inadequate depreciation. Liberal dividend policy, just go on giving the dividend, higher dividend, you're short of your earnings. Naturally, taxation policy, inadequate demand for the products. You have produced your products, but there is no demand in such cases also. Payment of high rate of interest on debentures or loans, what you have taken, you are paying high interest. Underestimation of the capitalization rate. Okay. So in short, in a abstract form, we will study what are the effects of overcapitalization on company, on shareholders, and on society. On company, loss of goodwill, poor credit worthiness, difficulties in obtaining capital, decline in efficiency, loss of market, inflated profits, liquidation of company. This is towards the company. Now, the ill effects on shareholders. What is that? Reduced dividends, fall in the value of shares, unacceptable as collateral security, loss on speculations, loss on reorganization. What are its effects on society? Loss to consumers, loss to workers, misutilization of resources, gambling in shares, recessions. These are all the ill effects of. Yeah, every problem has a solution. So here, what are the remedies of overcapitalization? If it is overcapitalized, what you have to do? The management must take remedial measures to rectify the situation at the earliest. In fact, it is rightly compared with a very fat person who is likely to suffer from various diseases unless he takes steps to reduce his weight. What does this mean? This mean is, you know what is going to happen, so take immediate steps so that the problem does not exceed. What are those things? What are the remedies? To have efficient management, redemption of preference shares, reduction of funded debts, and reorganization of equity share capital. Any of these you have to plan, and you have to choose a particular remedy for your overcapitalization. Okay. So we have studied about overcapitalization. Now we will try to study about undercapitalization. As the name itself says, it is just the reverse of overcapitalization. So there what happened? There was a difference. You wanted 50, you collected 60. The capitalized value is 60. There the earning was dropped. Now here what happens? That we will see over here. Just the reverse. Undercapitalization is just the reverse of overcapitalization, as I told you. A company is considered to be undercapitalized when its actual capitalization is lower than its proper capitalization, as warranted by its earnings capacity. It occurs when a company's actual capitalization is lower than its proper capitalization, as warranted by its earning capacity. However, it should not be considered synonymous with inadequate capital. In fact, the real value of undercapitalized company is more than its book value. Okay. So here what is happening? Actual capitalization. So as I told you, actual capitalization is lower than its proper capitalization, as warranted. That is, as we have estimated, it is lower than the actual capitalization. And there we said that it is not same as excess capital. Similarly, we are saying here, this is not synonymous, this is not same as inadequate capital. But here, one more thing is, the real value of undercapitalized company is more than its book value. The real value is more, earnings are more here. Okay. How is that? We'll study here. We will we shall look at one of the definition of undercapitalization according to Johnston-Burke. A company may be undercapitalized when the rate of profits it is making on the total capital is exceptionally high in relation to the return enjoyed by similarly situated companies in the same industry, or when it has too little capital which to conduct its business. Okay, so we'll study other things also here. So now let us study about the causes. What are the causes for undercapitalization? First one, underestimation of capital requirements. Consider you might have required 10 lakhs, but your estimation is only 8 lakhs. So you have collected only 8. Underestimation of future earnings. Actually your earnings may be more, but you have underestimated it. Promotion during depression, naturally. Conservative dividend policy. You are giving very low dividend to your shareholders. You are very conservative in giving the dividend to your shareholders. Very efficient management. So this is a advantage, you can say, a plus point. Your management is very efficient. It has worked a lot. So in such cases, your earnings are more, but you have very less finance with you. Desire of control and trading on equity. Okay. So these are the causes of undercapitalization. We'll study further. Now, as we have studied the causes, we will see how it will affect. So, the main disadvantages of undercapitalization are as follows. It induces the management to manipulate the market value of shares. EPS, earning per share increase, which in turn increases the marketability of shares. Employees press for higher wages. As a result, a rift between workers and employers take place. The burden of tax will be more since companies' earnings are more. The customers psychologically feel that they are overcharged by the company. The higher the earnings encourage competitors to enter into the same business. It may result in overtrading by the company. Eventually, it leads to overcapitalization because of excessive profits. So, these are the effects of undercapitalization. Yes, now remedies. Remedies of undercapitalization. What you should do? What measures you have to take? Fresh issue of shares. Issue of bonus shares. Increasing the par value of shares. Splitting up your stock. So these are the measures you can take to improve your capitalization. So we have studied overcapitalization and undercapitalization. Now what is this fair capitalization? When you are perfect, your estimation is perfectly matched with your actuals. We'll see here, it's the desire of every company to have a fairly capitalized. To understand this situation, it would be necessary for us to understand and analyze the situations of over and under capitalization of the company. Okay. Yes, the most important area of financial planning is to determine the right proportion of debt and equity. Very, very important in financial management is debt and equity. The objective of a firm is to create value which can be performed through proper mobilization and use of funds. So, right amount of capitalization is the basic objective of every financial manager. So, in short, we'll study here. Fair capitalization is that situation where the business has employed the correct amount of capital and its earnings are same as the average rate of earnings. Okay, you have collected estimated very correctly and your earnings match with the fair or the average rate of earnings. Okay, this we call it as fair capitalization. Now, to estimate, ascertain whether your company is overcapitalized, undercapitalized or fairly capitalized, we need to understand, calculate certain things over here. What are those? you need to know the book value of shares. You also should know the real value of shares. When you compare these two, you can ascertain, you can comment in what position is your company. So first we will try to understand how to find out the book value of shares. The book value of equity shares is calculated on the basis of net assets available for equity shareholders as per books. So how it is calculated? Book value per share. How it is calculated is net assets available to equity shareholders divided by number of equity shareholders. Very simple. So to understand this net assets available, we need to calculate what are the net assets. That we'll see in our next slide. So here we have two methods of ascertaining the net assets available to equity shareholders. What are those? First one is you're taking total assets over here, total assets. From that total assets, you are reducing creditors, preference shares. So here we have taken two values, add these two, deduct total assets from these two, and you will come to a figure which is net assets available to equity shareholders. Clear? There is another method. You can use one or you can use both. You will get in confirmation. So here what we are doing, equity share capital we are taking. To that we are adding reserves. We are adding surplus. Share premiums you will add. So when you add all these, you are coming to this amount. This is the value of net assets available to equity shareholders. Okay, so you can look at this. These two are very important. How to find the net assets available for equity shareholders. Okay. So as we have studied the book value, now we will learn about real value of shares. The real value of equity shares can be determined on the basis of capitalized value of earnings for equity shareholders. So in last few slides, earnings theory of capitalization, we have come across this formula. Okay, what is that? Capitalized value of earnings is equal to what? Earnings divided by normal fair rate of return into 100. Okay, so this is our capitalized value. Now a real value of equity share. What is the real value? Is capitalized value of earnings, that is the amount what you get that you are taking here. The amount or the value what you get by dividing earnings by fair rate of return into 100, that is taken over here. This is divided by number of equity shares. Then what you get? The real value of equity share. Clear about this? Now we shall see the comparison of book value and real value of shares. In overcapitalization, what we say that if the book value of shares are more than real value, see this. If the book value of shares are more than real value, it is called overcapitalization. Calculate, find out the book value of shares, real value of shares. If it is more, book value is more than the real value, you call it as overcapitalization. In other words, if actual capitalization is more than fair capitalization, it is called as overcapitalization. Next comes is undercapitalization. What happens in undercapitalization? If the book value of shares are less than real value. Okay, in overcapitalization it was more, but in undercapitalization it is less. If the book value of shares are less than the real value of shares, we call it as undercapitalization. Similarly here, if actual capitalization is less than its fair capitalization, it is called undercapitalization. Lastly, fair capitalization. So what it might be? Book value of shares are equal to, remember this. What is that? Book value of shares are equal to the real value of shares. We call it as fair capitalization. So three different aspects we have: overcapitalization when book value of shares are more than real value of shares; Undercapitalization, book value of shares are less than the real value of shares. Fairly capitalized means both are equal. Book value of shares is equal to real value of shares. Okay. Clear about these things? This is the major important points where we can understand whether a company is overcapitalized, undercapitalized or fairly capitalized. Just a revision of the formulas what we have studied earlier. Book value of shares, net assets available to equity shareholders divided by number of equity shareholders. Capitalized value is expected earnings divided by rate of return into 100. Real value of shares is capitalized value of earnings divided by number of equity shares. We have one more concept here, watered capital, or we also call it as watered stock. What is that? Watered capital means that the realizable value of the assets of a company which is less than its book value. What does it mean? It means generally watered capital exists when the assets are purchased at a high price. We'll see an example. If a company purchases an asset, it has purchased an asset for how much? 90,000. Later, it is found that the value of asset is only 60,000. Then what happens? How much is extra? 30,000 you have given extra, that we treat it as watered capital. Clear about this? You have purchased it for how much? 90,000. But its realizable value is found to be only 60,000. In such cases, that 30,000 we call it as watered stock or watered capital. So according to Ogland, a stock is said to be watered when its true value is less than its book value. Here we are calling that as the stock. It is watered when its true value is less than its book value. Okay. Yeah, we have come across this word called as over trading. We will see what is this over trading and under trading. Over trading, when a company does more business than its actual finance, it is called over trading. Okay. Over trading occurs when a company expands its large scale operations with insufficient cash resources. The result is disastrous as overtrading gives to increase in size, diminishing margin of safety and feeling a sense of stress and strain. What are its symptoms? Increase in bank loans, purchase of fixed assets out of short-term funds, decrease in working capital ratio, decrease in the rate of gross profit and net profit. So what is under trading? When the funds of the company are not utilized because of insufficient management, it is called as under trading. Symptoms are more amount invested in current assets or less amount due to creditors. So these are the 2 points, over trading as well as under trading. So friends, we have tried to understand what is capitalization, what is over capitalization, under capitalization and fair capitalization. We have understood how to calculate the book value of shares, real value of shares, okay, capitalized value. So considering all these things, we'll try to solve some problems. For problems, you can watch my next video. Thank you.